beginning.
We started it. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is
recording is
our
live.
AMA,
We are.
guys. Amazing. So thank you all for coming. And we've got Biney, is it? Am I saying your name right here today? Because you changed your name. Binny. Okay, if you want to start by telling us about Coinflect.
I guess I'll jump into it. So this is RJ here. So,
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute for a second. Sorry, guys.
No, that's no problem, Benny.
Go ahead, RJ. Take it.
Yeah, so basically what we created here was thought out over months and taking the idea of how things are operating, and we don't plan to reinvent anything. So we're going to take everything a lot of people are familiar with, create much lower fees and much better platform to go into. So we do plan to do things honestly and as transparent as possible. So if people have questions, hopefully we can answer them. And if we can't answer them, we're always going to find that answer, right? So if we look at like current trends, we look at staking, we look at NFTs, we look at dividends, freelance, pads, all of that stuff. Everybody's pretty familiar with. Some of it might be new, but we do plan to launch most, if not all of those on our platform to become like a unified business. And again, we don't plan to be a project forever. We want to be a unified business. We're going to start out on BSC here. And we want to, obviously, like most people, bridge over to the other networks. But our long-term goal comes to my background, which always came from blockchain, creating a coin, and then Coinflect to be able to operate on all of those chains and give the ability to wrap, unwrap, and stake and invest wherever they want into Coinflect on any chain they feel like.
Sheesh.
I love it. No, it's great. As far as the operations behind that, would you want to maybe give a little quick recap on, when is the project starting to, I guess, give us like a little roadmap, I guess you could say,
awesome,
of when expectations and things like that?
Yeah, so like solidified dates are kind of like a scary thing for people because when you don't hit them, you look at these projects and it was a bit out of their control because you have to rely not only on development, but also the testing. And then any bugs you find, it's a bit of a delay. And that's why we've been saying, soon a lot. And I don't like to use that because I imagine all of you have heard things like CoinGecko soon. we've all heard those. So right now we're going to start out on our staking platform. That is the big thing. And our goal behind that is, like most, we have our tokenomics. We have an operations wallet instead of a marketing that you would call it. And so what it is we have that set to 10% and auto liquidity is at 4%. So it's a 14 in total. We would like to bring that 10% much further down the road. And the reason behind that is because on every utility that we offer, there is a very small fee behind everything that is open so everybody understands what they're getting into. But that's where we plan to operate from. And so we do not want to sell on our chart. We want to receive these fees. And that's how we operate.
Yeah. So just to summarize, as our use case generates the revenue, us as the company plan to lower the tokenomics to allow more utility for the token to the investors or to the end users. And just a little bit more on that is that as we, for more confidence, our contract has a maximum built-in safety feature that cannot pass, like about 10%, per tax.
Awesome.
Okay.
No, and just to reiterate, I think we're getting into a time and space where, the hype trains and the meme coin ideology is kind of over. So now we have to go back to proper building of use case. And so I love the idea. Yeah, it all sounds solid. Does anyone have any questions, comments, anything they want to add so far?
I do. So what's like the first sort of rollout we're looking at for the utility? So like what are we looking to get our hands in?
So first utility that is currently being developed, we were hoping for some screenshots for you today. We were pushing the devs for it. Didn't happen. That's okay. That's because we changed our template. But you are looking at staking liquidity. we're working currently with 3 other tokens. And so that way there we'll make staking pairs for you can receive either Coinflect if you don't like those tokens. And we'll have links on our website showing all their official links so that you can look into all these tokens and say, yeah, I'll stake to earn those rewards. Every
And then
staking
shortly
pool will be open for 60 days. Just so you know, they're depleted after 60 days.
Also, we're not. You don't have to be locked in on a fixed term. So let's just say you're interested in getting into another project, but you had already put in your tokens to stake on one. You can pull out with a penalty of only losing rewards that you would have earned within that 24-hour period. And so that way it gives you some agility to kind of jump into the next one. So that way it's a smarter way to invest, right? You don't want to lock in and just kind of feel like, oh, I missed this opportunity, right? You can lose just a small percentage or small amount of rewards for that 24-hour period to get into something else that would have net you a higher yield for your staking. And I think also, I guess it's early to tell, but within the first phase, let's say a couple of weeks there afterwards from launch, we're already also working on the swap that's currently in development.
Got you. So, like chart and market cap aside, where would you like to see this project in 3 months to be able to like come back and say to people what you have up and running or what like you've achieved?
Well, from what we have, I think, RJ, did you want to say that first, what you had technically speaking for the development of the project?
No, he was just wondering about your predictions on or progression for market cap there. You want to take that?
Oh, no, not market cap. Like in 3 months, like what would you like to say you've achieved? Like what's been built out? You have this, and this sorted, or this coming. Like what were we looking at 3 months from now?
Oh, understood.
Yeah, easy enough. The staking platform would already be done. So use case provided at launch. A couple weeks there afterwards, we would also have the swap, and we're also going to be working on a KYC platform. So for devs to KYC properly, privately, right? Not to dox to any Joe Blow, but to do it privately and have it authorized through us as an independent entity to handle that. In terms of other than market cap holders and such, we're going to revamp the website even further down the road to accommodate more of those features. And I think we do have some other stuff in the works, but again, we're already in talks with listing exchanges right now to provide that as a seamless transition at the end of our first phase. So if you look on our website, we build everything out in phase 1, phase 2, 3, 4, which represents 3 months, right? So per quarter. And we would have right now what we're talking to 2 exchanges as well.
Got you. Sounds good. Sounds positive. For sure. That's it from me. Anyone else got a question?
Yeah, I got a few.
Okay.
A beta, I guess, of your guys' platform. Can we expect a beta as something we can see and see what you guys are, working with?
Yeah, so we tried to get a few screenshots for you today. Didn't pan out. We're hoping over either tomorrow or the next day you're going to be able to see what it looks like through the screen capture. After that, we won't be launching a beta because we don't need like individuals testing it. We're going to test it on our own, and then we're going to launch to you a finished product. We definitely don't want to give you a beta where you're going to be our guinea pigs.
Yeah, we've actually opened up our group way early down the line to allow people to be a part of the process as we were developing this, right? So I can remember the date since we talked about this project and built it up since July 8th. And as we opened up this chat earlier, it was really to give perspective to people to see that, look, we're not a token or a project or business looking to just do marketing and then provide the use case there afterwards. So as we launch the website, as we provide the news, as we show the screenshots of what we're developing, we really want you guys to be part of that development journey right at the kickstart of the pre-launch or the pre-launch marketing. And so, if you come into our Telegram group, that's
really
where we're
exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah, just come into our Telegram account to follow up, and we're going to provide that information too, right? So we'll definitely put those screenshots in the crypto crib. But if you want to get it first, just come to the Telegram account.
Wonderful. Do you guys have a website?
Yep, coinflect.com.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm on your link tree, and I didn't see the website. So I just like to poke through everything, see like how accessible things are, and outside of the Telegram, I don't see a lot of accessibility to the website unless I'm missing something. And also outside of the Telegram, it's super hard to find your contract address.
We haven't launched.
You haven't launched yet? Okay. Sorry,
No,
I was
no.
just looking over the thing. And then when is the launch date then for this? And I know you said tentatively, anyways, when is the launch date?
Yeah, because we will not launch without people having a proper use case, because we don't want people to invest, they plan to hold, and then they get dumped on because nobody has any way to use it. If we're going to be a utility token, we need to launch as a utility token.
Smart, yeah.
So honestly, it's up in the air. We were given a 2-week date, which lands around the 10th to the 12th.
Yeah.
That's where we're hoping to land that.
It's really just based on the developers providing and doing the testing and making sure everything is right. So tentatively the 10th, and between the 10th and the 12th.
Perfect. And then before I go on to my next question, was it Alicia, did someone else have a question they wanted to ask prior?
I was just gonna say, for the background of how the team met and where you guys actually started from, so that we can get a better sort of image of how you guys decided to make a coin together.
Oh, I mean, I guess probably the relationship between RJ and Brandon was longer than mine and RJ before I met Brandon. So I guess I'll let RJ go first.
Yeah. No, so Brandon and I actually met during the days of Baby Doge's. Baby Doge's climbed to the top before its initial, like, over $1 billion market cap, right? He was helping a lot of people. I didn't know much about trust wallets. So I'd kind of like point them towards Brandon at the time because I was always a MetaMask user. And then him and I just kind of talked back and forth and realized there's a lot more out in BSC than being stuck in Baby Doge. And so we started investing together and kind of checking projects out, eventually landing us on another token, which was Touch Token. Unfortunately, we invested into that, but that's where we met Benny.
Yeah. I used to play Call of Duty with a friend of mine who was actually friends with RJ. And so sometimes we get into conversations about the blockchain and tokens. And I was never familiar too much with smart chains or smart contracts. But I come from a background in manufacturing and product development. So I've worked with Arc'teryx, I worked with Lululemon, I've worked with Formula One teams to build out their hats for their merch team or their merch store. Right now I'm in building materials for this company in North America. So I like to build and I manage product development. I'm an AI PMM certified manager regarding product development. And so this was kind of intuitive for me to kind of go into this and help build and structure this with these guys, right? So everyone has their strengths. You know, Brandon's amazing at community engagement and knows the right people. RJ, you know, kind of when he talks about blockchain, the guy operates from a place of like the spectrum. And I like to piece things together and make it happen, you know, whether we're working agile with software development or it comes down to building hard goods.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been talking much. It's loud around here because everybody's getting breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
No,
Brandon's
I
actually
love the background and I love the story. I love it.
Yeah. Brandon's actually stationed out in South Korea. He's with the U.S. Army, and so, I mean, connection could be bad sometimes, but you know, we try to accommodate him in our team meetings. Every night we have a team meeting to discuss and push the project forward.
Okay, so in terms of other projects in the past, you guys haven't had any, or no one in the team has really had any experience?
No, we it's not so much about the not having a project for experience. We've attempted to work with the devs. I've helped a few blockchain in my day when I started in 2017 in my mining, learning about new ones there. So like I helped those devs. I've seen which ways they went. We have not launched one, so we have no failed past projects. We know that we just want to make one and it'll work, and that's where we're going to leave it, because a second project means that a first one didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
we've learned from a lot of the experiences we had from our losses. You know, even down to marketing, right? We see people asking for PooCoin ads like no tomorrow, but the ROI on PooCoins after launch is extremely diminished. You know, your engagement is marginally decreasing, right? At an exceeding rate. So, you know, we understand that at certain phases, a project needs to go past the smart contract, small mind thinking to go into the bigger space and gain mass adoption in the way that Dogecoin really got into to the hearts and minds of regular people who had no idea about blockchain, right?
Mm-hmm.
To grow your holders.
Yeah. And no, and I actually like the fact that you guys haven't worked on or haven't deployed other projects, because then that would lead into the question of, all right, well, what were the other projects? How did they go? What, that would just open up another can of worms. So you've helped with other projects, but you've never deployed another project, correct?
Exactly.
That's right.
Perfect. Okay. And then the next question is, who's going to be the key holder of this project? Is it going to be a multi-sig wallet? Is it?
I love that you have.
Yeah.
We're going to be running through a Gnosis vault where it's multi-sig. As well as at launch, we're going to be providing the liquidity lock address. So these are all things that we've learned. We've been burned in past projects where these things were not provided, enough to know that this is what the community needs and this is the best way to operate as a team, because I like to fashion ourselves, or we like to think of ourselves as a business, not a project. So this is why, it's best for us to provide this use case. The majority of the stuff that we're doing right now is out of pocket on our end, because we believe that you guys, if you guys are going to invest in us, we need to provide a reason for you guys to. And again, this is one of those things that we're missing, right? A use case at launch.
Perfect. No, and I love projects that are trying to develop into a full-fledged business, because that's, that's the end goal, and it should be the end goal for the majority of utility tokens. So I do love that aspect. And I guess the next question is, what is the marketing aspect when you first launch? What are your marketing plans for that?
It's pretty good, because we actually had that question come up today. So we're going to do what you would expect for a phase one. So we need to exercise everything that would work during this market cap. So we're going to obviously do the pin posts. We're going to continue with AMAs. We're going to do, I want to say influencer, but not like, like celebrity kind of deal. We want to go after like your Twitter people who are actually like influential towards the market, not just because they're popular for pump and dumps and they have all kinds of scam tokens behind them.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Yeah. Phase one. And the cool thing is in phase two, I don't know if you took it. I put our website onto the group chat. And if you look into phase 2, 3, and 4, consistently we're applying and gaining traction through listing on exchanges. And, if anybody who understands exchanges, the access to marketing that these exchanges have while listing, because at the end of the day, they want your listing, because they'll receive a lot of fees through the transactions, right? So it's in their best interest to promote your coin or your token. And so they'll have the best marketing available, right? So as we always announce and launch through, the right avenues in terms of PR agencies or, Medium posts or stock twits, etc., we'll also be piggybacking off of the marketing going through the news from these exchanges. And so right now, that's why in phase 2, we're a little bit early, but like I mentioned, we're already in talks and negotiating with 2 exchanges.
Perfect. Love it. I love your... Thanks for posting the link to your website. I love your website, by the way. Great feel.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Solid.
Yeah, and also there's certain links that are disabled. For example, the white paper, that's actually going to be coming out next week. And we also plan to provide the audit at launch, so that way it's in line with our marketing in order to be listed on these exchanges. So there's obviously some pre-qualifying that needs to get done, and we're rising to that occasion to make sure that we provide that at launch.
Perfect.
Yeah, and just so everybody understands for the audit part, like we would release it early, but they need like your contract files, they need your address, and it all becomes public after you hand it over to them. So we don't want any like shenanigans or funny business. We will provide the audit, and we're going to do a multi-audit, because obviously things like CerTic are so far out and so expensive that we would love to have it right now. It's not realistic. We've tied up a lot of funds in development. So we're gonna start with obviously whatever avenues we can go for audits that will provide it. You'll see everything that they have, and then later down the road, when we're eventually able to, we'll go for the big name brand CerTic, of course.
Yeah, we're not looking to burn working capital that would be in the best interest of the investors. Yeah. Like for example, $40,000 for a CerTic audit. When we can get 3 audits that can do the exact same thing, that provide different opinions to then kind of give us an assurity that our contract is airtight. And then the remaining funds can be used towards marketing to then push our holder count up and our price of token up. So again, it's all about being efficient, as a business would, right? Not as a memed project would.
Yeah.
With the buzzwords. Certec, audit, imminent.
When Lambo, when CMC.
Yeah.
So I've just been looking at your Telegram. It looks really organic and good at the moment. I was just wondering how you're going to sort of continue the drive with the community and how you're going to grow your Telegram and your socials moving forward.
Absolutely. So we always push the Telegram to be the main scene for things.
Yeah.
We obviously don't have a huge number count because these are real people. We didn't go in and pay a crazy amount of bots. We didn't go in and invite a million people. We just wanted real people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so again, like for us, is being part of the journey of developing something special like Coinflect. We opened this really early to get these individuals, and a lot of the people that have been there, we have this one thing called Coinflect since day one. And we see that a lot. And it's one of those things that we wanted to push, right? To be a part of that journey, to say that you've been there since day one. And so as that pre-launch marketing starts to kick in as of next week, what we're really trying to do is get our day ones in now, see the process of how we're growing, and then all those traditional forms of communication or media for advertising to get our people like, ads, pin posts, AMAs, and bringing in more people and engaging them and making sure our community is not only engaged, but excited to be a part of this project, release it, and then kick into phase 1 or phase 2 of our marketing that would be more robust with, exchanges, PR agencies like Cision, and getting into our kickstarting our way into being a household name.
Guys, I had a few questions. It's going to be like some blanket ones. Just I'm going through your website right now. I'm going through it. In phase 1, you've listed private sale and pre-sale. Can I ask how much is in both? How much are you doing for private sale? How much are you doing hard cap for pre-sale?
So the private sale is the pre-sale. So we're going to do a hard cap of 130. And what we have set aside is 50 BNB for the initial first phase of private, which is a 1 BNB minimum. And after that, it's open to the public where they're allowed to get up to the rest of the 130 at 0.1 minimum. But the people who get in at the 1 BNB minimum on the first phase receive 210 million tokens. And the second phase is 182 million per BNB.
And we limited our hard cap to be something more manageable and realistic and aids us with our development because, if we have a huge hard cap, right, we're going to get a lot of pump and dumpers. We're going to be happy with their 2x and affect the charts. So we really wanted to keep it minimal in terms of the investors that really believe in the project and looking to hold.
Cool. No, I think that's important, and you've set yourself up there for a relatively still low market cap to allow for some good growth. So that's good. You encourage people to get in at launch, so that's good to see as well. Can I ask how you're implementing the private sale? Are you hosting it through PinkSale, DXL, or are you doing it privately yourselves?
So we were actually talking to the devs over in those, including like airdrop and everything like that, and BSC pad. We weren't a big fan of handing over that much of our liquidity and our tokens. So what we're going to do is we're gonna host it off of a private wallet. We're gonna open the chat. We're gonna have the team information available, and so like you'll be able to see who we are. We're gonna have our chat open, and then we're going to have a very specific wallet, and so that people will be able to put the BNB in. We'll add them to our list, and then for airdrop come launch, we're actually going to be using a disbursement DApp. And so that way there, you're not waiting for individual sends. It's going to be all sent out probably within the first 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, no, that's good to hear. Yeah, it's a common problem a lot of guys do when, a common problem people face when they're doing a private airdrop, but you found a solution to that. Out of that private sale, how much is the team getting? Is it just you three and the core team?
Yeah, it's just us three.
We are the core team. It is just us three. And anything we get from this sale is going directly to the business. Mm-hmm. There is nothing that we're taking out of it. We're hoping that our launch is good, and our first few days we'll be able to recoup some of the DAP, and that would be that. And other than that, we just need to continue operating. We don't need the Coinflect money in order to survive.
That's it, because for us, our goal is to build out the DAP in way and add, like you said, like the NFTs and getting into that, but making sure that each DAP or each feature that we're providing within the community is solid enough before we continue to the next one. So our core focus is to build a staking platform, and that will incur some fees as well, right? Whenever you take out from your rewards. So once we build that, that's going to be our revenue to then kind of push forward and reduce the tokenomics and ask for whatever we're pulling out. If we're not really trying to go off of whatever we have in the marketing wallet to pay ourselves out, just like empty out the marketing wallet like most people. And this is exactly what's going to be in the multi-sig, right? So it's going to require 2 of 3 signatures at all times for anything.
Perfect. And so you mentioned their marketing wallet, but yeah, I'm guessing that's falling under what you've classified here as 10% operations. Yeah.
So that goes towards the Web3 functions. It goes through the DApp development. It goes for, small salary for us to maintain this project to keep moving forward. Obviously it's the marketing as well, but our operations in its totality for this business to continue growing to reach each phase.
Cool. Are you comfortable specifying how much of that percentage is going into basically easiest way to call it is a dev wallet, right? Obviously you guys want to get paid out of it so you can continue funding the project and working on the project. Like what percentage of that would roughly be going into that? And then do you have a percentage for marketing as well?
So what we're doing is we're going to kind of operate it as we do need this, and everything will be like a public ledger. So obviously we can't be like, hey, here's access to everything. BSC is open, but we will be like, okay, so this is exactly what this transaction is. Much like where everybody's investing in all of these stock markets, everything is open ledger. That we have no problem with that because we're not looking to take anything.
Yeah. Like, for example, mainly just to maintain our salaries currently that we have. So that way there's no change in our way of life to continue funding the project. So there isn't a percentage necessarily because we're not looking to pull a percentage.
Okay. It would just be as you see it and the value that's gone into it, and you adjust for the amount of volume that you're receiving. But yeah, like I said, it's all going to be visible on BSC scans, so people will be able to see transactions anyway.
Yeah, so like before those questions come out, it's just going to be a public ledger. It's like you can see it. Why wait for you to come ask us? There's no point in that. That's a silly method of operating. Anything on Forex, you can go ahead and see anything that's visible, and they have to say exactly where it's all going. There's no point. There's no point in not operating like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'm sorry, I'm taking up a lot of questions, but you did just mention.
Love your
mentioned. I appreciate you, but you mentioned this an NFT very shortly in one of those previous statements. I haven't seen that on the roadmap. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so that's actually something we've been working on. The reason why is because it's going to take a little bit longer based on we want to have something very unique. So that isn't going to be like, hey, this is exactly what we're working on until we test it out and make sure all of our features will function properly in the way a market that we would like to see fit work. That's when more will be launched. So yes, we will be working on the background as to creating a market, but we have very unique features and guidelines that we would like to see. And if that doesn't work, we have to keep working at finding these companies that will find a way to make it work. So if we say it early, people may be waiting for something that they never hear about, but it is something we're working on where this is a private AMA group. You guys are great investors. That is something that's for the future, but we don't know how long that's going to take because we have very strict guidelines for this market.
We're really disclosing more information in this sense of the AMAs because they're more private investor groups. And so we want you guys to understand where the future of this company is going to go.
Perfect. No, I think it's very important to focus on like single utilities at once. You have a lot of projects that promise GameFi, NFT marketplace, centralized exchange. They try and do everything, and you just know then they're not going to be able to achieve any of it. So yeah, focus on your staking app, guys. I think that's going to be really awesome to see at launch. In terms of the staking app, I'll try and make this a couple last questions. can you guys give me kind of like the unique selling point of why I would be coming to you guys to stake with alternatively to what people are using now?
Yeah, so we offer the ability to obviously stake your tokens. You're going to earn rewards. You're going to see how many rewards you're going to get based on how many people are in the pool, just like any regular one. Our fees will be competitive to remove your rewards because no staking pool is free. We're going to be open about that. Now, nothing will be locked up. You will 100% have the ability to pull out at any point and do whatever you like with your money. But the only thing you sacrifice is there is a 24-hour timer. So if you get some itchy trigger fingers, you don't sacrifice anything that you owned. You sacrifice what you could have had. So that is one thing. The other thing is our staking platform is set up so when other tokens connect to us, we create a dual staking pair, one for them and one for us. And so our people can stake their Coinflect tokens to receive their rewards, and we stake it and we make a staking pair so their people can stake their tokens to earn Coinflect. Thus, us exchanging these holders and us creating a larger network of people to communicate with.
Also, what we like to do is this idea of thinking where your holders are our holders and our holders are your holders, right? So we would like, when we want people to come in to learn more about the project that's going to be staking a pair with us, you can come into our group and talk about what your project's all about to start getting people to look into your project and invest into your projects. Another thing too that I like to think is that this will be beneficial for individuals who want to provide a use case at launch to provide to their holders, right? Yeah, you're getting reflections. Why don't you go ahead and get more by staking those tokens and being able to get more rewards? So a lot of that's going to be in business development as well. So just like you said, focusing on our core launch utility right now, which is to get the staking up and running and being our strongest asset at the moment. And then building around that, all these new features like a launch pad, right? What if the percentage of the liquidity the tokens that we're asking go towards your staking pair? So now you're part of this ecosystem with Coinflect where it's building off of the strength of what we're offering as our primary utility at the moment and giving you access to more functions to stay within our ecosystem to launch your token and provide utility.
That's great. And would you be providing any benefit to holders that are holding, let's say, both these tokens in those scenarios?
It's more like hedging risk. So maybe you're interested in that project and you, the person, found out about this project and you brought it to our attention. Maybe we could approach that dev, find a way to work together, create a liquidity pair, and you're able to stake what you have in our token for theirs. And if they continue past a week and you see actual development, maybe you'll decide, you know what, I'm going to throw some BNB in there. I already have some, but I'm willing to invest more now. And so your risk is alleviated. It gives you more time while getting the token that you initially wanted without spending the money.
And another thing too for the staking is that at one point, once this is not going to be available right away, but as our staking pairs are up and coming, like we're starting to have more and more, and the fees we're incurring on the back end, what we want to do is for our holders is provide a dividend. Do you want to explain that a little bit more, RJ?
Yeah. Before I move into that, is there anything you wanted me to expand on those staking pairs?
No, that's perfect. I think you've elaborated on that really well. It's important. I just like to kind of push onto those because then I get to hear more of the technical details. I get excited. So go into the dividends.
Yeah, so the dividend. So what it is obviously with the more features we have, there's more back end fees, and the company's kind of getting more money than necessary. More money is always great, but in the end, where is everybody benefiting from this? Yeah. So we're going to create a dividend staking pair where, much like businesses, they have quarterly dividends. So we will create one locked staking where people will have the option to stake their tokens, lock it for 4 months for the quarter, and then we'll put a percentage of all of our back-end fees into that staking pair. And those individuals which believed in the company and just wanted to stake for dividends will receive high amounts of rewards off of that.
So again, creating holders, making our holders hold longer, and again, providing more utility to the token that we provided.
Oh, fantastic. No, it's a great idea, and I think a super unique concept. I have one more question, if that's all right, Alicia. I don't want to take up the whole AMA.
I was just gonna say you're doing amazing, but yes, go ahead.
I appreciate you. Yeah, so obviously you've got a 3-man core team. You've got the DApp that you're going to be working on. You've got back end to worry about, marketing deals, everything going on. When you're at launch, obviously, even just small things like chat management are going to be super important. Do you have the mods in place? Do you have shillers in place? What's kind of like the expansion of the team from there?
Right. So we're not big on shillers because honestly, like when I see that and people go and shill raid, say a group I'm in, it becomes quite annoying. But we do have a single community mod at the moment. He is from the Philippines. We are always taking like individual statements because people do message us about it. We kind of let them stick around. We talk to them. We VC with them. And honestly, not many people have worked out. It's hard to find honest people. Their intentions seem great in the beginning, but then things change when they don't get what they want right away. So that's been kind of like the problem we've been having. So that's been an ongoing thing, just searching for people. And since we opened it, there's only been one person that we allowed to control and moderate our chat.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna take up time with it, but I'm gonna DM you and help you out with that a little bit. I'm quite bullish on this project. But
at this point right now for the phase of the project. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, all good. I was just gonna say I'm gonna make sure everyone else gets time to answer the questions, guys. But great answers. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Does anyone else on our main team have any questions? Hash, did you have something you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I have some questions.
Okay.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? I remember your guys' voices back in Baby Jones, etc. And glad you guys are still together and stuff.
Yeah,
you guys hear me okay?
There's a little reverb on, but it's okay.
Remember, if you're not talking, please mute your mic. Otherwise, some of us will get cancelled out.
Hello, everyone.
Better now.
Oh.
Hello. Good day, sir.
Sorry. Can you mute her?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Chilling. You?
Good, man. Hey, I've been looking at your website for a while, and I know you guys are looking to be long-term, etc. And I see you guys have a dynamic roadmap, and a lot of people don't like to put on as many things because, to tell you the truth, they're just not hitting all their goals, right? Now, when you guys say expand to Ethereum in phase 2, expand to Polygon in phase 3, expand to Cardano in phase 4, what are your intentions there? Like, how are you expanding, and what's your goals there?
So what we would like to do is obviously take the regular routes, make nothing new for that right now. And that'll be just to create the bridge. And so there's an option there. And nothing changes. We're not looking to reinvent it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the avenue. We're going to be able to create it, but we may not be able to launch if things don't go properly. But we will be able to create that. We'll have the contract. We will create everything we can, and we will launch it once things are seamless. But now, just because we create the Ethereum contract, we create the tokens, we mint them, doesn't mean we may necessarily be able to launch that right away. But we will make sure that everything is created and set into place. And so as soon as we are able to work out all of the mechanics of everything launching correctly, we will have that set up and we will be able to launch in a proper way.
Yeah, to do the same things that we're doing within the BSC, but for those in Ethereum. And then it goes to our long-term goal in the end of this to do that multi-chain network.
So to get that long-term, I heard you say the devs didn't have it ready to preview for the AMA. Now, when you guys are saying the devs, now is them just guys you met in the BSC, or these IT guys you know locally, or
no? These are guys we contracted. We contracted them to build our app.
Okay, perfect. Because you know how the space is. I don't got to explain it to you guys.
No, we hear you. We actually went through that twice before we decided to just go through companies and then hire out contractors. And we found out that is the best way to move forward.
Yeah, it was a lot of time wasted, more than money.
Yeah, but that's usually when you come up with the best solutions, though.
Right. And that's it. Right now, we just like you mentioned, we changed our template. And so we just wanted to make sure that it was more refined. So at launch that, you have something that pretty much looks finished, like a finished product, like it's the V2. It's perfect, and anything else that changes is very slight. So that's kind of what held it up. But tomorrow we should have some, or even probably later on tonight, because they were pretty quick to do the first template. We can put that in our group chat. We'll send it to the Crypto Crib, and that way you guys can see. Again, this is the whole point of why we opened the Coinflect Telegram up, so you guys can be part of witnessing our development.
Nice. I just have one last question, and it's not a big deal for me. I don't really care if people dox. I just see on your roadmap on phase 2, it says team doxing. I know just a lot of people in this space, it does mean a lot to. How are you guys going to go about doing that, and at what time are you going to do it?
Okay, so we've actually talked amongst each other to figure this out properly. So in order for us to pass an audit, of course, on the website, we need to, at minimum, have a photo of each other. We need to have our names, and then we need to have which part that we take in the company. So that would be as far as we take it for that. But right now we're working with Solid Proof to do a proper KYC. And so that way there we're held liable for our business, our contract, and who we are as individuals. So it's not that we're trying to phase out our doxing. We just want to do it properly, because like any CEO of any company, you can see them, you know their names, you know where they work, you know who they are. But like, I shouldn't be able to have investors knock on my door because, he made a mistake and bought an all-time high.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's all I have, guys. Appreciate your time coming here, and it's just going to be good. I'm definitely going to be checking you guys out.
No worries.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks for joining the chat.
Yeah, I think Sam answered a lot of the questions I had. So,
yeah, well done.
but,
Trans's questions.
no, it's all good.
It sounds like you had another one transparent.
Yeah, it sounds really good and thought out. With your pre-sale, how will you be doing it as well? Will you be doing like a whitelist or public? Because we public ones, you get a lot of people that are just looking for flips.
Yep.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're going to make an announcement, a countdown to our VC. And that's when we'll have our public profile that is on our webpage showing, who we are, who you're talking to individually. You'll be able to see who I am. I'll be on the VC myself. I have no problem turning on my front-facing camera saying, "Hey guys, how you doing? This is me." I'm the exact same person in that image that I put there. This is my name. We're gonna have a countdown. So we have 130 BNB hard cap for the entire thing. 50 is set aside for early private investors. It's a 1 BNB minimum for that first 50, and it's 210 million tokens per BNB. After that 50 is reached, it can just go to people that can put in the 0.1 BNB, but 1 BNB after the 50 gets you 182 million tokens.
Will you have a maximum buy?
We will not set a maximum buy other than putting a cap at 10. So yeah, I guess there is 10. But
Gotcha.
to me, I think that's a lot for somebody throwing into a launch, right? So I'm just like, well, yeah, there is a cap, but that's crazy.
But then let's say someone did throw 10 beans at launch. What would that, how much of the percentage of the supply would they have?
2%. 1% is the maximum wallet.
Yeah.
And so they would have to send 5 wallet addresses, because we have a maximum wallet address and a maximum TX of 1% on our token.
Perfect.
When we don't plan to change that until we reach around the higher million market cap, and so it's unaffected by multi-sell.
Yeah,
nice.
And have you thought about like staggering it in, for example, like this first 20 minutes, I don't know, you say there's a max, and then the next 40 minutes there's a max. Does that make sense? Like kind of do it gradually, like 2 BNB, raise it up to 5, and then open it to no max at launch.
We haven't. I don't know, RJ. We tried to discuss this. I mean, it's very tricky. We just want to make sure there's no too much control is given, and so like I guess dispersing it that way would make sense. I don't know, RJ. What do you think?
I mean, I've seen it with a couple launches, and both launches that I've seen it with actually worked really well. It's something I've actually mentioned to a couple of people before, but I don't know why certain people try to avoid it. It might be something you want to look into and have a chat about, I guess. It might be more...
Definitely. I mean, it's something that we can talk amongst the team. And since you brought it up, I'm sure you have some valid points that you'd like to share. So we can talk about that privately to pick your brain and see what would be the best way to do that.
Yeah.
Just on the private pre-sale, when are you planning to send the tokens to private pre-salers?
So we're going to use a disbursement app, and so we'll have everybody's wallet addresses and the amount that each wallet will receive, and then we'll have a CSV file already ready and labeled out. And so after we add liquidity and we launch, we have that CSV file that we will add liquidity and launch right away. So hopefully 5 to 10 minutes, and everybody should be paid. As it's just in the length of time that disbursement app works.
Okay, that's cool.
Cool.
There's cointool.app that does actually let you host a private pre-sale IDO, and it does the dispersal for you as well. Maybe worth something to look at if you've not looked at it before.
I will absolutely take that into consideration. Can you DM me that detail there, and I'll check it out?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the main thing is just to make sure that you don't give them the tokens before PCS liquidity, because at least 3 launches in the last week, someone got their tokens early and launched the LP pair themselves.
No, yeah, we've already planned that, and we're also going to make sure that the price is right on BUSD, and we're going to make sure the price is right on USDT as well.
Yeah,
and
brilliant. Set up a pair.
Yeah, so you're going to see USDT and BUSD in there as well. There's going to be next to no liquidity in there, but the price will be right just in case somebody decides to add it in there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
we've
seen
token
it all
per cake.
Yeah, I seen it last week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's mad, and some of these projects have had absolutely massive hype. 10,000 people waiting to buy, and then they've gone botched. So it's really important.
Why do I feel like I know what you're talking about?
But, no, that's great. Just on the development, so you've hired external parties. Did you say they were freelance contractors, or it was an actual physical entity that you've used?
We've hired them through freelance platforms. We've interviewed them personally, and we've spoken to them on the phone. We've gotten all their information, and we've dealt with them that way because BSC is full of scumbags.
Absolutely. Okay, so you found them through that, and will you have kind of a grey man that's going to check the work of the others to check there's no exploits?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, we do. They're going to actually look through the back end of the DApp, and that's also part of why we can't really say when we're going to launch exactly, because if we find any issue, then we're going to need them to fix it, as long as it wasn't put there for malintent, right? Which I feel like we're just fine, but it's just for a little bit of security, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Expect the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah, perfect.
No, that's good. That's reassuring. I mean, just that
For sure.
you've considered it. It's good that you have, and I would expect nothing less. But some wouldn't have. So it's good because obviously, if you are a developer and the people you're working for can't read code, then the world's your oyster.
Oh, trust me. Since July 8th, that date is burned into my head. We've been mapping out this project methodically. So we're trying to make sure, and every project we get into, we keep learning and seeing where it went wrong, and obviously auditing ourselves to see whether that happened here or that opening is available there. So we're really just trying to make this perfect, so that way there's nothing to worry about at launch, and we can get the ball rolling and kind of get those green candles.
Well, that certainly comes across, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I guess the best way to put our meetings go is we always FUD our own ideas until it's unfuddable.
Yeah.
Great technique.
Yeah, no, we have no problem calling each other out and saying exactly what we need to say, because we all have pretty thick skin in our crew.
Yeah.
It should be, for sure.
Yep.
You guys have more questions? I'm really enjoying this AMA.
Someone talking. I think there was 2 people talking there. Sorry, who was talking? Go ahead.
I think we were just saying how we were all enjoying the AMA, and we gained a lot of insight into the project, and I'm piqued my interest for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Stan, I see you in there, man. You got a question?
You guys answered everything, to be honest. It's amazing.
Cool.
One thing we will expand on in our white paper is understanding our expansion into the other blockchains. because when that was brought up, I guess we didn't explain it the best. We just said that we will be expanding into them. Doesn't mean we will be going live and launching right away. We just need to make sure that we have that area secured. And so when things are put into place, that way it will be available.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, I mean, it's good that you have it on your roadmap because you're then demonstrating longevity. But it's good to know that you're concentrating on BSC initially.
That'll be our originating spot. Again, I much prefer blockchain myself. I do understand the algorithms and I know exactly where we need to go in order to have a delegate system, and so that we can just wrap and unwrap and then go wherever you want with just one single purchase from any network that you felt like going on to.
Yeah, that's our end goal. That's I guess what some call our moonshot.
Okay, great. So does anyone else in the team or in the community right now who've joined us, does anyone have any questions? Just to see if there's any last minute ones.
I'm just curious about the staking, how much we'll be able to stake at the beginning.
Be able to stake as much as you want, much like the reward systems and reflections. The more you put in, the more you receive. But it is set out to send an even amount over 60 days per day and just disperse it to those people in that fashion. So that's why people have no lock, because some rewards, some tokens will offer more of their tokens in order for people to want to stake to get onto their platform. And so it is completely up to these other projects how much of the liquidity that they want to give us for the pool. They're all set up for 60 days.
All right, cool.
Gotcha. So the projects are lending. That's the way you're going to be doing the staking farming, is the projects are going to be lending their tokens to be farmed out. You're not integrating into the API.
No, absolutely not. So they will be sending us the liquidity. We've already spoken to three projects. Hopefully they're all locked down. But we also are creating that reverse staking so their people can have another option to put their tokens, and so they're not just waiting to sell on their chart either.
That's it, perfect. And we're trying to create that good community here where it benefits the investors and the developers, right? And that's for the future of this token, that their holders become our holders become your holders, and we're providing utility to each other.
Perfect. Love it.
Wow, guys, great. I mean, I love to see the passion that you guys have and like the drive. So I'm so glad that you guys are actually our first AMA. If no one else has any questions, I think I'm just going to end with just a small one. So in terms of like in the long run, FUD might come and things like that. How are you going to just like, what's going to keep your community stuck by you? What would you say?
Interesting. Good question. Well, we'd like to first think that this project would be very solid in the way that we went about constructing it, in the way that we provided our utility, in the way that we, in good faith, put our own dollars up to create something worth investing in. And so far in the organic members that we've had, I think there was only one post that we had that would be considered FUD, right, RJ?
Deleted and we moved on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we weren't hearing you. That's all right. I don't even know if I was cutting you off. But so far in the way that we've created this project, it's been something that we're trying to organically create this community. And so yes, with community mods, we're going to try to go ahead and hammer out that FUD. And in any case, you'll always have the guy who bought at the all-time high. Then it dropped for some unknown reason. Maybe somebody decided to pull their profits and then try to come into this project or this business in the Telegram and throw some FUD at it, right? So long as we keep going and providing news after news, not shilling the news, but actually providing the news, this is the kind of way we designed the growth of our company to speak for itself. And hopefully that's the pattern we seek to take. Kind of in the way that, Baby Doge did it. They didn't shill news. They just told you randomly, hey, we got listed on this exchange, right? And so emulating a lot of the successful tokens that came about, whether it was SafeMoon, Shibu, Baby Doge, right? We've pulled a lot of what we've seen that worked and that we believe investors deserve to kind of put our project to the top where we think it could be, right? So I think primarily I'd say a lot of that strategy was based on providing the news when it came and not shilling it and making sure we have something deliverable at every stage, at every phase.
And I mean, like, you answering it like that just shows the motivation that you guys have behind, because you've been focusing on what worked in the space and what you could obviously potentially grow and work on with your own project. So it's great. I think we'll wrap it up. I think we had a really nice first AMA there. Good questions, everyone.
Awesome.
We're going to put a poll up in the, obviously we haven't got as many as our first time. Let me just put in their poll. So we'll just put a poll up in the group and see obviously how everyone felt in the community about the AMA as well.
Awesome.
But has anyone else got anything else to add? I thought we did really well. That was really nice, AMA. Thank you for joining us today.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much. I had so much fun. I loved answering your questions. And as always, if you guys ever need to get at us, if we're not in the group and we're just kind of working within Coinflect, just reach out, get in the group, talk to us. And that way you can stay more informed with the project as a lot of our deliverables are coming in before launch, after launch, and to the moon.
To the moon. Thank you. Well, if you need us again or you want to do a last minute AMA before your launch or after your launch, we'll be here as well. So
awesome.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.
Yeah.